Text 19. The states of the qualities are the defined, the undefined, the indicated only, and the signless. The system of yoga is built entirely on the philosophy of the Shankhyas, as I told you before, and here again I shall remind you of the cosmology of the Shankhya philosophy. According to the Shankhyas, nature is both the material and the efficient cause of the universe. In nature, there are three sorts of materials: the sattva, the rajas, and the tamas. The tamas material is all that is dark, all that is ignorant and heavy. The rajas is activity. The sattva is calmness, light. Nature, before creation, is called by them avyakta, undefined or indiscrete. That is, in which there is no distinction of form or name, a state in which these three materials are held in perfect balance. Then the balance is disturbed. The three materials begin to mingle in various fashions, and the result is the universe. In every man also, these three materials exist. When the sattva material prevails, knowledge comes. When rajas, activity, and when tamas, darkness, lassitude, idleness, and ignorance. According to the Shankhya theory, the highest manifestation of nature, consisting of the three materials, is what they call mahat, or intelligence, universal intelligence of which each human intellect is a part. In the Shankhya psychology, there is a sharp distinction between manas, the mind function, and the function of the buddhi, intellect. The mind function is simply to collect and carry impressions and present them to the buddhi, the individual mahat, which determines upon it. Out of mahat comes egoism, out of which again comes the fine materials. The fine materials combine and become the gross materials outside the external universe. The claim of the Shankhya philosophy is that beginning with the intellect down to a block of stone, all that is product of one substance, different only as finer to grosser states of existence. The finer is the cause and the grosser is the effect. According to the Shankhya philosophy, beyond the whole of nature is the Purusha, which is not material at all. Purusha is not at all similar to anything else, either buddhi or mind, or the tanmatras, or the gross materials. It is not akin to any one of these. It is entirely separate, entirely different in its nature, and from this they argue that the Purusha must be immortal because it is not the result of combination. That which is not the result of combination cannot die. The Purushas or souls are infinite in number. Now we shall understand the aphorism that the states of the qualities are defined, undefined, indicated only, and signless. By the defined are meant the gross elements which we can sense. By the undefined are meant the very fine materials, the tanmatras, which cannot be sensed by ordinary men. If you practice yoga, however, says Patanjali, after a while your perceptions will become so fine that you will actually see the tanmatras. For instance, you have heard how every man has a certain light about him. Every living being emits a certain light, and this, he says, can be seen by the yogi. We do not all see it, but we all throw out these tanmatras. Just as a flower continuously sends out fine particles which enable us to smell it. Every day of our lives we throw out a mass of good or evil, and everywhere we go the atmosphere is full of these materials. That is how there came to the human mind, unconsciously, the idea of building temples and churches. Why should man build churches in which to worship God? Why not worship Him anywhere? Even if he did not know the reason, man found that the place where people worship God became full of good tanmatras. Every day people go there, and the more they go, the holier they get, and the holier that place becomes. If any man who has not much sattva in him goes there, the place will influence him and arouse his sattva quality. Here, therefore, is the significance of all temples and holy places. But you must remember that their holiness depends on holy people congregating there. The difficulty with man is that he forgets the original meaning and puts the cart before the horse. It was men who made these places holy, and then the effect became the cause and made men holy. If the wicked only were to go there, it would become as bad as any other place. It is not the building, but the people that make a church, and that is what we always forget. That is why sages and holy persons who have much of this sattva quality can send it out and exert a tremendous influence day and night on their surroundings. A man may become so pure that his purity will become tangible. Whosoever comes in contact with him becomes pure. Next, the indicated only means the buddhi, the intellect. The indicated only is the first manifestation of nature. From it, all other manifestations proceed. The last is the signless. There seems to be a great difference between modern science and all religions at this point. Every religion has the idea that the universe comes out of intelligence. The theory of God, taking it in its psychological significance, apart from all ideas of personality, is that intelligence is first in the order of creation, and that out of intelligence comes what we call gross matter. Modern philosophers say that intelligence is the last to come. They say that unintelligent things slowly evolve into animals and from animals into men. They claim that instead of everything coming out of intelligence, intelligence itself is the last to come. Both the religious and the scientific statements, those seeming directly opposed to each other, are true. Take an infinite series, A, B, A, B, A, B, etc. The question is, which is first, A or B? If you take the series as AB, you will say that A is first. But if you take it as BA, you will say that B is first. It depends upon the way we look at it. Intelligence undergoes modification and becomes the gross matter. This again merges into intelligence, and thus the process goes on. The Shankhyas and other religionists put intelligence first, and the series becomes intelligence, then matter. The scientific man puts his finger on matter and says matter, then intelligence. They both indicate the same chain. Indian philosophy, however, goes beyond both intelligence and matter and finds a Purush or self which is beyond intelligence, of which intelligence is but the borrowed light.